Hello, hello, hello. Good evening to you all. What's up, witches? Test 1 2 1 2. Can you hear the drums? Can you hear my voice? Is everything all in good balance for you? Please let me know. Samantha, my love, I'm so happy to see you. I missed you last week. I'm so happy to see you there. And whoever else is here, whether you've been here before or not, please check in and say hi. I want to, first of all, just thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with me this evening. It's certainly the high point of my week. Hello, Marcy. Good evening. Who else we got here with us? Can you guys hear the drums? Here we go. I had to turn up my speakers a little bit. Usually I have my speakers way down because I don't want to... You're getting the drums from my desktop feed, and I don't know if hearing them through the microphone messes things up, but at any rate, I'm so glad that you're here. I hope that you're having a good week. I hope that you're safe. I hope that you're healthy. I hope that you are praying and sending energy and choosing where to spend your money and everything that you can possibly do within your power to help the people of Ukraine withstand the horrible situation that they're in. So hello, Darcy, my love. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Sherry. Yay. Oh, I made coffee. I'm going to try real hard not to have to go pee in the middle of this, but, you know, gray hair comes with the territory. Hello, Deb. How you doing, sweetheart? So glad to see you all here. Here we go. Here's a little ASMR. Hi, Tavia. Hi, darling. Oh my goodness. This is such a wonderful group, you guys. It's such a wonderful group of women. So I will probably have to, you know, all the stuff that I go through to get ready. And I also want to say that hello, Patricia, welcome, dear, that my OBS has been lagging tonight. Like, I will be talking and I see myself on the screen and it lags and then it catches up. So pray to Mercury, we're under a Gemini moon, that our electronics and logistics continue to function. With my poor computer that's just like, oh, straining under the load. She can't take the strain, Captain. Yes, I love the sound of pouring hot liquid into a cup too. Deeply, deeply comforting. So tonight, the decks that I have chosen tonight have a very specific thing in common, except for one of them, and that thing is my new hyperfixation, my new ADHD obsession. I know I don't know when it was, 3 years ago, 4, I don't even know, but I got a burr under my saddle and spent my evenings doing my tape reinforcement job on every deck that had a tuck box or was falling apart in any way. And actually, no, that's a lie. I did it on all the tuck boxes, whether they were brand spanking new or not. And it's like one of those things where I can, you know, I'm doing something with my hands. I can be watching TV or listening to something else at the same time, but it just gives me something to do that actually can help move me forward from a stuck place. You know those places where you get stuck? Well, my new obsession is deck modification. And when I first heard about people doing deck modifications, I thought, are you crazy? Why the fuck would you want to do that? These gorgeous decks, why would you want to, you know, I had someone that talked about cutting the borders off of the Druid Craft Tarot. And I'm like, oh my God, how could you stand doing that to 78 cards? And what if they don't come out even? Just never mind. And then, you know, there's the edging thing. Well, the first one I did was the Heaven and Earth Tarot. And I did it because the backs were dark, but the cardstock underneath is white. And they were getting these nicks on the sides. And there were these big white things coming up. So it's like, I hate that. So I edged it in gold and I fell in love, and now I'm just like obsessed. So you get to see, you get to see what I've been up to. First one, and so, you know, this is why they were chosen, but it's also, they were chosen because these are just fucking great decks. Yeah, taping to get unstuck. True, Tavia. True. Interesting. So here is the first deck. This is our Lantern Oracle by Angelina Mirabito, illustrated by Yuli Alejo. And you see this deck a lot because it's a damn good one. It deals with the dark as well as the light. And when you have a deck like this that already has, you know, it's already black on this side for the border and it's black on the back, so you can edge these suckers without anything going wrong, and it just makes it look fabulous. So there's that one. Then, if you watched my unboxing on Monday, this is the next one, the Darkwood Tarot. Actually, here's the box. The Darkwood Tarot. Amazing deck. And I did this one yesterday. It's a little funky. I've got a couple places where I might have to go over. But you know what? It fits the aesthetic and the art style and the vibe of the deck something fierce. And, you know, when you edge decks, of course, you're running a marker along the edge, which means something is seeping in to those layers. And you can see sometimes the ink. I don't know if you can see that. Come on. There we go. See how the ink kind of seeps in? But again, on this deck, it fits the aesthetic perfectly. So very happy with that. Yeah, see the trimmed ones, that's just a little too fiddly for me. I'm going to skip this one and come here. This is the Sacred Traveler Oracle. And look how nice that one worked out, eh? Ciro Marchetti, or Ciro Marchetti, C-I-R-O. Who knows how that's pronounced in Italian? Is it Ciro or Ciro? I don't know. But his decks, this is the Tarot Grand Luxe. And look how fabulous. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. When I was little and I colored, I didn't do like the light coloring. I ground those crayons into the paper, man. I colored solid and vividly, and I outlined everything in black. So this one has not been modified. I need to get the right color marker. It will be. And this is the Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle. But I saved the best for last here. Okay, let me check it. I'm checking messages now. Only the ones with wide white borders. Yeah, and truthfully, the Druidcraft Tarot, if I did do one, I would do that one because it's so big and chunky. And the only thing I don't like is you cut off these beautiful knotwork that's on the back, but, you know, anyway. Yep, the bleeding can't be avoided, that's for sure. Ciro, it's Ciro. Thank you, Marcy. Ciro Marchetti. Okay, so this is one of my other fave tarots, the Light Seers. So we have the Darkwood and the Light Seers and Tarot Grand Looks, but look what I did. Looky what I did with this one. This was so much fun to do. And I just picked out, you know, the colors of the spectrum. And then I just went through the cards and I paired the color with the color on the front of the card. I didn't separate them by suits or anything, so you can't tell, like, by looking at the edge of the cards of, oh, there's a lot of fire together. Nah. But yay, I'm so happy. And this deck was the one that I interviewed and asked it what it wanted to talk about. And it gave me the Tower. So that's tonight's topic, is maintaining peace or finding peace, or just, you know, abiding in these times of turmoil. So let's start off with a little bit of a smoke cleanse here. And I offer you this sacred sage. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. And we also want to wake everybody up here. Wakey, 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 wakey. And I mean, when I've got decks in heavy rotation and I'm using them all the time, I don't clean them every time. My house is buttoned up. I don't have other people touching my decks, so I don't consider them to need cleansing. It's just a wake up. It's a wake up, and by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. All right, and then to guides, guardians, allies, and ancestors, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here with me every single day of my life, and for being here tonight to help us gain some insight, gain some enlightenment, gain some information to help us be the most effective that we can be and be true to ourselves. And I offer you fresh water. I offer you the fire of Azrael. And I offer you clearing sound of the bell. With this sound, I call in spirit. And with this third one, go ahead and put down a root. Get yourself grounded and situated and comfortable. Put your little antennae up in the air. We are going to start off with the Astro Dice tonight. And what else was it we had going on tonight? So we've got Gemini Moon, and at 8:30. Ah, yeah. At 8:32, the ruler of the moon tonight, Mercury, goes into Pisces. Perfect night for doing readings. The Gemini Moon says I should be able to get the words out of my mouth. And Mercury, moon ruler, going into Pisces just really hooks us up with the vibe. Okay. All right. All right, Samantha, let's see what they have to say. I see I have others that like bright, vivid colors. Okay. What is our frame for tonight? Hold on a second. I got to get myself down in my body. I'm getting excited and I need to calm down. That's the Gemini Moon. Well, looky there, Samantha. It's an 11th house. Mercury in Gemini in the 11th house. Look at the... Look at that. Gemini 11. Oh God, why did Twin Towers just pop into my head? Let me turn this around. Because they have to be right side up. So, how interesting is this? We're on a Gemini moon. I'm just talking about Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, ruling the moon and going into Pisces. And we have Mercury in Gemini. This is talking about logistics. Logistics and information, because logistics is information, right? It's schedules and agendas and the things that we want and need, the lists that we make, how we work things out between ourselves and other people. You know, although we are psychically connected at all times, being human and being part of our culture, the way we consciously connect with each other is through information, right? Through the mind. Through the words that we choose and the words that we put out there, and also the words that we use to describe things to ourselves. So the words that we use have everything to do with how we see the world. They are a guidepost to how our brains are structured. They can show us where our trauma is, because we have these worldviews that get put in place, and then we use those frames to describe the world to ourselves, whether we feel like we're powerless, or a victim, or whether we feel empowered and spiritual and all kinds of things. So what a great focus for tonight. The words that we use, the thoughts that we think. And it blew my mind when, it wasn't very long ago, that I learned that not everybody thinks in words inside their heads, and I don't understand. Do any of you, is there anybody here right now that does not have like silent words going on when they're thinking? And if that's true, what the hell goes on? What goes on in there? I don't understand. So fascinating stuff. And then the 11th house is our groups of friends, like-minded people. The people that we are, it's our tribe. The 11th house rules our tribe. These are the ones that I want to hang out with. These are the ones that I see myself reflected in. It's the opposite of the 5th house, and 5th house is play. It's the natural house of Leo. It's play and creativity and children, and the sunny disposition of Leo, and how we go out and just have a damn good time. It's romance and recreation and all that kind of stuff. The opposite house of that is our friends. Who are the people that we want to play with? This is who I play with. So 11th house for me is you guys. I want to play with you, and I want to play tonight. So tonight we are going to play with words and ideas. We are going to, we can expect communication in a spiritual way as this planet goes into Pisces and brings in that that invisible, subtle energy that influences our thoughts. And I ask, please, oh please, yes, I've already asked my guides this, please, oh please, give me nice words, give me good words tonight. Let me not do what I just did there, go, I can't find words, okay. Anyway, let's get going. I'm going to use the little red, the little tiny, tiny die to see which deck we're going with first here. Number 1. Well, we might just go in order. So the Lantern Oracle is out first, and since I have not interviewed this deck, that's what we're going to start with. What would you like to talk about? One more time, the 3 dice are Mercury, Gemini, 11th house. Mercury in Gemini in the 11th house. So if this were an astrological position, this would be someone whose friends are people that you communicate with, that you trade ideas with, that you like to talk to a lot. So Mercury in Gemini is verbal communication. Mercury in Virgo is processing of information. It's much more internal. But Mercury in Gemini is networking. It's connecting through information. Data, raw data. Okay, let's see what's going on. These just kind of tipped out of the deck. This deck is a matte deck, and it kind of doesn't like to shuffle very well. Which, do I care? Not much at all. Okay. And looky, wisdom in play. All right, how many do I have here? I have 5 here. So we're going to go like this. Wow, okay. So the one that came out in the center says, wisdom in play. Our intuition knows more than we do. Boy, is that a little in the forehead of Mercury in Gemini. It's not all about data. It's not, but, and, oh, no, this is perfect. This is perfect because the 11th house is the natural house of Aquarius, which rules, ding, 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 intuition. So here, right out of the bat, right out of the chute, the cards want to talk to us about not just raw information, but intuition, and really using our intuition in a practical way, in a down-to-earth way, in an everyday way, to deal with the regular old logistics of life, right? Which is what Mercury rules in Gemini. So our intuition knows more than we do. This is where we really need to bring that into play as much as our logical mind, as much as our left brain. We need to bring the right brain in too. So I'm catching up with some messages here. Mercury in Scorpio conjunct Neptune. Wow. Yep. Okay. Wow. That's amazing, Tavia. Thoughts are really one of our senses, their first attempt at trying to attach meaning to energy we're picking up on. Absolutely. Well, yeah, it's a higher, you know, it's the senses are based in the physical, and then we start thinking about them. This is like a, you know, the airy part there. And yes, this is what we do, is our thoughts and our words. But think about this. Depending on your mindset, depending on the paradigm that you're operating from, that's going to have everything to do with the thoughts that you're thinking about. The intuitive, you know, intuitive stuff comes in, information comes in through the senses, intuition comes in, and then our filters engage. And we start having thoughts about those, and we start deciding, well, this is right and that's wrong. We decide meaning, we apply meaning, absolutely based on our paradigms and how our minds have been trained. So being able to connect to raw intuition without like mangling it is something that takes practice, right? Every reader out there, it takes practice. All right, let's look at the other two here. We have key to intimacy. Intimate love is a core need to be met in relation to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. And then over here we have women supporting women. Together we can transcend our individual limitations. Okay, so intimacy here, I want to take that beyond its sexual connotation. Because true intimacy is really sharing the mind, a sharing of the minds, a connection, you know, where you have a connection with someone that goes beyond words. So this intimacy too applies when it comes to your intuition, that you need to be intimate with your own mind so that you can differentiate ways that you were trained to think by your environment, by your teachers, by your whatever, that you can differentiate that from, and so the way you interpret things through those filters and the pure intuition. And for me, what was... Okay, I'm just furry. Sorry, looking at messages. When people ask me, you know, how do I tell the difference? To me, the first impulse is the intuition. And if I am doing things like I got my hands in water, washing dishes, in the shower, something, and I find myself following a train of thought, or I find myself suddenly, you know, angry about something, or, you know, hit with emotion, and I'll think, where's this coming from? And I will stop and backtrack, because there are times where I've just lost in a train of thought and I've hooked into an old tape, you know, an old video that's playing, and it's generating old emotional stuff. But then there are times where I'm in something and I stop, okay, where did this come from? And I cannot find the train of thought. I cannot find where I logically got led there. And that to me says this is intuitive information coming in. Now, people that that are empaths and get physical information, I know that if I'm doing a reading and I suddenly feel my eyes stinging with tears, I need to validate that person's grief and give them permission to let their tears flow. I'm picking them up from them. And same thing physically in my house. If I'm, going around and I've got some kind of weird pain that I'm not used to, and it's like, okay, is anybody else having this? And sometimes, frequently, in fact, it's another member of my family, and it's like, okay, that's not my pain. I can edit that out. So, Sherry, okay, sorry. I'm cracking up at you guys here. Fairy or farty, right. Autocorrect can burn it, hello. All right, you guys are cracking me up. So anyway, intimacy, real intimacy, goes beyond the physical. It goes beyond mental and communication in words to that place where you really connect with someone intuitively. Then we have women supporting women. Hello. And let's see what else we got here. Inner life and radical curiosity. Okay. Key to intimacy and wisdom in play. So yeah, this is what gives us a rich inner life here, is when we are intimate not only with, our partners and our very, very dear friends, but when we are intimate with our own mind to the point where we know what intuition feels like versus just, thought processes. And when you become intimate like that, and when you recognize that that play is so essential to accessing wisdom, universal wisdom, because play, you drop your roles, right? When you play, anything goes. It's not serious. So I don't have to be in whatever box I put myself in a lot of the time. And so we're talking about a very rich inner life. And then over here, wisdom in play and women supporting women, we have radical curiosity. Seeing as if for the first time, every time. And here it says your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. So, if I look at my, the title that I picked for tonight, Finding Peace in Turmoil, this is a guidepost. And the central card there is remember how to play, is, remember that play is essential. It's not something that happens when all the real stuff, serious stuff is done. Play is essential to our inner life. Play is what allows us to have radical curiosity. What if I tried this? What if I did this today? What if I went to the grocery store in a fairy outfit? What did that do in your head? We would let a kid do it, but why can't we do it? So radical curiosity really is also about, this is taking me into Buddhist principles. It's about meeting life at face value, whatever life presents to you, not grinding it through the meat grinder of your thinking logical mind and your judging mind, your attachment and aversion. It's meeting life at face value. This is what's happening. Okay, here's what's happening now. And you can save yourself from all that, not that you don't try to change things if things need changing. It's just that you save yourself all the energy that you would spend in going, no, this is wrong, this shouldn't be happening, that takes a lot of energy. When we meet life at face value, we go, oh, this is what's happening. We don't have to say it should or shouldn't be happening. Save the judgments, just this is what's happening, what do I need to do? What is being brought to me now? So that radical curiosity can really help us be in the present moment, fully open to what actually is happening, in acceptance of the fact that it's happening. because that puts us in the power position to change something. And I'm going to take one more off the top here. And what I have is voice. Wow. You are here to be known, so speak and be seen. And that is a Mercury card. So after we do all this play and we become intimate with our own minds and we bring radical curiosity to our relationships with women when we get together with each other in a magical context, in a spiritual context, when we behave as if magic is real, and we open to that radical curiosity of what can we dream? What new world can we dream up in our wise play, our rich inner life and our radical curiosity? And then let's give voice. We give voice to that thing. We stand up and say, this is the world that we're dreaming. This is the world, abracadabra, I speak it into being. What is the literal thing there? I can't remember. But rise above knowing into grokking. Yes, Samantha. Okay, who knows that word? Who knows that word, grok? If you do, you are instantly my friend. That is from Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. A book that is very dated now. When you read it, it's definitely a book of its time, but it was a book so far ahead of its time. You know, it's still such an incredible story. So yes, it is an amazing spread. It really is. And I see all the women in these cards and this wonderful little fairy child with the little pointy ears. And you know, it's like, this is the call. Here we go. You know, we're answering the call every week when we show up here together and open our minds to play and see what we can bring in. Okay. Right on. Thank you. Thank you. Mwah. And to kiss that deck. And who's up next? Oh, we have one again. Yes, that was lovely. And one again. Now we have 4. I think Lantern Oracle just wants to, like, be the deck tonight. All right, number 4. This is Sacred Traveler. Yeah, Time Enough for Love is fabulous. And Time Enough for Love... Before that, get a book called The Pass Through Tomorrow. It's the Future History series, because at the end of that book is a story called Methuselah's Children, which is the setup for Time Enough for Love. So, but yeah, if you only want to read one Heinlein book, make it Stranger in a Strange Land. Please do. Okay. Bit more. Let's give the deck a little bit more num-nums. Num-nums. Fire of Azrael. Yes, yes. Okay. What would you like to talk to us about tonight? Yeah, one again, another 11. You're right, Tavia. Crazy. Look at these two. In the flow, cleansing waters. With this Mercury getting ready to go into the wateriest sign of them all, kind of, the foggiest sign of them all. In the flow, everything is smooth sailing, cleansing waters, purification activates vibrant life force. Okay. So, in the flow just means that I'm not going to battle every moment in life. I am going to align. It's about being in alignment. This is, Samantha, this is the Sacred Traveler Oracle by Denise Lynn. So, in the flow says that we are aligned with the direction that life is heading, that we are moving with it. Um, and I'm going back to that card about intimacy, because when we are intimate with ourselves and our own lives, and we are intimate, you know, with those around us, and when we're in the moment and radically open and curious, we are in the flow because we're looking at life and seeing where things are. We're not sort of closeted away, wishing for things to be other than they are. When we accept where things are and put ourselves in the middle of it in the moment, we are in the flow. So it says everything is smooth sailing. Just because you're in the flow, it doesn't mean it's smooth, and it doesn't mean it's going to be smooth. You know, sometimes you hit rapids, and you can ride those rapids rather than trying to claw your way against them or out of them. So in the flow means I am willing to release control, to relinquish control, and be and go the way the energy is going. Cleansing waters, purification activates vibrant life force. So when we're in that flow, we can kind of release and be purified of all of this strenuous manipulation and fight for control. Then we have a narrow pathway. Ooh, tread thoughtfully. Okay, give me a second. I want two more. Wow, okay. So we've got in the flow and cleansing waters, and I'm seeing those as sort of a preparation for then, look at this, stepping into power, narrow pathway, and ascending the mountain. You're strong beyond measure, tread thoughtfully, keep going forward. So we're looking at how we can prepare ourselves to kind of step into it. I'm getting an image here of the moving walkways in airports, or of an escalator. Were you scared of escalators when you were a little kid? I was terrified of them because I just didn't know. I didn't know where to step. I didn't know how to, and I was, you know, and of course I always ended up stepping on the crack and then almost falling down and all that shit. And then I learned that, you know, the stairway is moving. You just need to move with it. If you just flow onto it, you know, if you get yourself moving and then you step onto the moving thing, you just continue moving, right? It just gets easier. And so being willing to be in that flow, letting that flow kind of cleanse us, cleanse our vision so we can actually see what's happening, then we move on to this narrow pathway. And what I'm getting that narrow pathway is actually the path of magic. The path that not everyone takes, right? It takes responsibility to step onto that pathway. It takes practice and dedication. I saw a young reader, Moon 513. I just love her. She feels so familiar to me. I look at her face and it's like, honey, I've known you forever. But she's also just a hell of a witch and a great reader and extremely ethical. And she was talking about, you know, people that are contacting her, and any of us that have been teachers know this. People that, you know, well, how do you do this? How did you get to be that? And they're looking for a quick answer. What's the quick, easy, 5 easy steps to being a powerful witch? And the truth of it is, it's not easy. It is a narrow path. To be a reader, to work with these things, it takes focus, it takes practice, it takes doing it over and over again if you really want to be good at it. And anything, whether it's magic or any thing that requires skill, any skill that's worth having, anything that is worth excelling in, is going to take dedication, practice, time, commitment. So the narrow pathway here is talking to us about commitment. And stepping into power, that the power is there, it is available to us. I am thinking now of the speech that that our speaker, he was a minister, gave when I graduated from high school, and it was called "Take What You Want and Pay for It." And basically, he never used the word karma, but basically it was a speech on karma. Take what you want from life. It's all there for you. Take what you want and pay for it. Nothing is going to come to you free. Saturn says no free lunch. You get what you pay for. Neptune says you pay and then you don't get. It's sacrifice. But karma is cause and effect. When you put in the effort, you get the effect of the expertise. And so stepping into your power is taking responsibility and being willing to commit. If you are willing to commit and you're willing to take, the knocks that come along with it and the learning that comes along with it, then your power is waiting there for you. And then we have ascending the mountain, keep going forward. So if we do this, if we can narrow our focus, if we are willing to commit and pay, we can claim our full power. And there's more here. Hold on. I do want one more. Okay, they're telling me to cut. Wandering path. Look at that. We have narrow pathway and wandering path. So what I'm getting from this is just talking about, again, being in the moment. So when we're looking at the turmoil that the world is in right now, and what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Well, the first thing is we need to be in the flow of our own lives. Our lives need our attention. And then in the context of our own life, we can look at what is available to us. What is it that we are able to do in order to step into our power, to not feel helpless, in order to feel like we are moving forward. And with the narrow pathway and the wandering path, it's like this talks about being focused, but it says that if we are in the present moment and in the flow, we know that even when we get focused on something, life can steer us in a different direction. And we need to be open to flowing in that way. Okay, let me look at messages here. To not be afraid if it feels intense to do. Yes. Yeah, exactly. We have been indoctrinated that good means it's going to feel nice. It's going to feel nice. Nothing good is ever like intense or scary. And yes, the word intense is really good there, Samantha, because we think that just being in the flow means everything is benign, But to me, those moments of incredible flow have been some of the most intense moments in my life. Being in the flow just means you're present and you are following the path, the narrow path, even when it wanders. So the narrow path is also a wandering path. And this also is talking about just your spiritual path. Not all who wander are lost. Absolutely. So the old, what's my path? What's my path? What's my path? My answer to that has always been look down. You are on it. You can never be off it. It's Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. You're always on your path. And you can study in a certain tradition that you're attracted to and then suddenly totally lose interest in it. You studied it for 10 years and then it's like, this isn't doing it for me anymore. And then you feel like you're lost, but no, your path is moving on. Your path is moving on. So being willing to stay on the narrow pathway, even as it turns, again, my favorite definition of a witch, A woman who is passionate about her ideas and values as they are changing. As they are changing. So that was a little less clear, but interesting still. And I think, you know, for these times, we just need to be thinking on our feet. We need to be open in every moment. And we need to be, with this Mercury and Gemini here, we need to be bringing in information, inform yourself, know what's going on to the extent that you choose, you know. And then within that, what is it that I care about here, and what is it that I'm able to do, so that we feel empowered. Okay. And we got number 2 here. So good. We're going to a tarot. We're going to the dark wood. Let's go to the dark wood and see what's going on here. Yeah, right, Samantha. It doesn't need any more definition than that. And, you know, it kills me, the trendiness now of the craft and of tarot is, you know, I could get very fretful about it, but I'm not going to. It's just like, okay, it's a trend, whatever. But, you know, I've been questioned. I was in a couple groups that I since left of, you know, I'm a priestess. Who's your patroness? My what? My patron. Okay. I don't have a patroness, I guess. Well, which goddess do you so many. See, there's a whole bunch of them over there. There's Isis, there's Sekhmet, there's Bastet, there's Lakshmi, there's White Tara, there's the Venus of Willendorf, there's Saraswati, there's Ganesh, there's the Buddha, there's, you know, okay, there's Epona, there's so many. So many. And they're all part of your path. So, you know, get rid of the idea of making mistakes on your path, or, you know, if you went and, like when I became a Catholic, and then later I went, oopsie, that's not quite what I wanted, but it wasn't a mistake, because it reunited me with the goddess. So, and the wonderful feeling of ritual. Nothing is a mistake if you learn from it. Can you tell I'm loving shuffling these cards? They are so wonderful. They shuffle so... Okay, stop shuffling. All right. Talk to us about... Okay, what do you want to talk to us about? Ooh, 5 of Pentacles. There we go. I'm going to do 9, 3 by 3, and give myself a little bit more room. Okay. King of Wands. Whoops. I've got little pieces of black tourmaline. I have black tourmaline crumbs there. So we're going 3 by 3. Ooh. And thank you for a major in the middle. You know what? I'm going to move you over here, darling. Because I need me more room. There we go. We have a major in the middle, and it's the Chariot. So we're talking about moving forward here. That card apparently wanted to come. All right. We have King of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, and the Hierophant across the top. So we've got a major in every line. All right, give me a second because I'm not used to looking at this deck. I only just unboxed it 2 days ago. So I don't have the images in my head. It's Hierophant, 9 of Swords, Chariot, Queen of Wands. So we have the King and the Queen of Wands. Then we have 10 of Pentacles, Judgment, and Wheel of Fortune. Holy moly. All right. One thing I want to do is look up the quartz here because she has amazing titles for the quartz that I am going to memorize because they are just succinct and perfect. The Queen is charismatic flame, and the King is iconoclast, somebody that enjoys expressing power. And what was hers again? God, I don't retain shit, you guys. It's terrible. Okay. Charismatic flame and iconoclast. So Five of Pentacles was the first one that came out, and it's talking about these feelings of loss and abandonment that we're all feeling. These feelings of, in empathy with the Ukrainians and with everyone in Europe right now who is sitting on pins and needles as they wonder, is Chernobyl going to melt down? I don't know if you heard that the power has been cut to Chernobyl. Chernobyl is no longer functional. It is, no man's land. There's nobody allowed in there. Well, the Russians took that, and now power has been cut to it. So there's a lot of radioactive waste there that is under cooling. And and the generators are running, they've got 48 hours to run before they run out of power. And then we could have radiation leaks. So, we're sitting here thinking about these people who are forced out of their homes. And here's King of Wands. Well, that's Putin, right? The iconoclast, someone who enjoys wielding power. And then we've got the Hierophant over here, that we just have these strictures is the word that I'm hearing. Things that we can and cannot do. We are operating under rules and laws. That's the Hierophant. Rules and laws that say we must do things this way and not that way. And, a lot of things that I'm reading right now are really talking about things in these terms of going back to a world of laws. And, I think we are really moving towards something like the UN not being just a nice club, but having a world federation, really a governing body that does apply to the entire planet. Of course, seeing what some of the laws are being made in the United States right now, it's kind of terrifying to think of that too. But anyway, let's move down. Nine of Swords, Chariot, and the Queen of Wands. All right, so the Chariot in the middle says we don't know where we're going, but we're on our way. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way. It talks about being in the driver's seat. It talks about things moving forward, and the question is, where are they going? Are we going to steer? Where are we steering these things? Nine of Swords, of course, is talking about the incredible stress, the incredible grief that is happening both with the Ukrainians and the Russians. But who is this Queen of Wands? Who is this charismatic flame? Oh, you know who I'm seeing? Olia, I think it's pronounced. It's the goddess that is kind of, she's in the middle of Kiev. She's got this huge statue with the sunflowers and everything. The goddess that protects Ukrainians is who I'm seeing her as, coming in to save. But also the feminine principle here. Also the feminine principle. The mothers that are fighting. I saw a photograph of women who their children are out of Ukraine and they are in uniform and they are there to fight. This is the goddess, the feminine principle coming onto this planet. You know, she's been here forever. She's starting to gain force again. And the things that are going on now are really showing us the consequences of the strongman paradigm that we've been living under for so very long. So very long. And I want to bring in the great astrological ages here, because we hear, you know, about the Aquarian age all the time. If I do my own calculations, which has to have to do with sidereal astrology and seeing actually when the spring equinox has precessed back or out of Pisces and into Aquarius, and that doesn't happen for another couple hundred years. So we are in a critical degree there as well, backing out of the Piscean age, where the victim, you know, it's all about the sacrificial lamb and the victim, and right now it's about just getting the wool pulled over your eyes and, you know, addictions, people that are addicted to money and power. So we see this new Aquarian age as, you know, as the Piscean age starts to crumble away, and the goddess is, you know, the awakener that's going to take us into that age. So down at the bottom here, we have 10 of Pentacles, Judgment. And so with a 9 and a 10 here, this talks about something culminating. We are culminating. Swords and Pentacles, air and earth. 10 of Pentacles talks about practical things. And look at the yoni. Can you see the yoni on this card here? It's a big tree with this lovely yoni. So practicality, everybody having what they need. The earth is a wealthy place. We all can have what we need. Then we've got Judgment and Wheel of Fortune. Judgment means, but things have to change from the inside out. Sweeping change, radical change, transformative change. And Wheel of Fortune says it's happening naturally. And this is Pluto's transit through Capricorn. You know, Pluto getting ready to go into Aquarius. So we can get this preview of the Aquarian age by Pluto going into Aquarius in the next couple of years. So this is a natural change. It's going to happen whether we want it to. And Judgment card is also about inevitability. I'm going to catch up with messages here. I see things happening. Queens. Okay, with readings about Putin, Queens coming up. Yeah, it's going to be up to the women. The Entwives. The Aowen archetype. Yes, Tavia. And yes, Samantha. I am no man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. And here's the 10th card. The 10 of Swords. Holy shit. So, yeah, things are breaking down, y'all. We are on the brink here. And truthfully, what I feel just intuitively with Putin, he's just gonna let things break down. He has no interest in keeping Chernobyl safe. He is waiting until we have to make a move. He wants us to make a move that gives him an excuse to launch a nuke. That's just how I feel. And so he's gonna let things get desperate, hitting hospitals, hitting a maternity hospital, you know, agreeing to safe corridors and then bombing those corridors until, you know, the only safe corridors are into Belarus or Russia. He's doing these atrocious things because he's goading. He's goading. He wants us to act first and give him the excuse. And it doesn't matter. He's going to use an excuse anyway. So there's no way that we can, we got to keep our hands clean and everything. There's just no way. But there's this tension. Okay. Yeah, it's absolutely going to bite him personally. He's never going to admit anything. I don't know that he regrets doing it, but I think he's kind of scared. I think he's feeling the pinch. You can see when he's doing speeches. And last week when we had the King of Cups that kept coming up, remember? Every time I was reading about Putin, the King of Cups kept flying out. And I'm like, what is going on here? But then I was watching Marianne, Revealing Light Tarot. I love her so much. And she had the King of Cups flying out. She was reading on him. It's like, oh my God, here comes the King of Cups. And she said he's acting from an emotional base. That's it. He's usually so cool and so cynical. Cold man, right? But you see him getting flustered. He's acting from an emotional base. So he is not rational right now. Which, was he ever? No. So, yep, he thought it was going to be smooth and easy because he's a narcissist and he's delusional and he's a fucking madman. And it didn't turn out that way, and the entire world is turning against him. But I do feel it's going to get incredibly ugly before it's over, and that's what the Ten of Swords is saying, is we have to be willing to let things go to the ultimate in devastation. You know, we've got to be willing to witness rock bottom. Yes, the Judgment card is a vampire. Absolutely it is. Look at that. And yeah, the vampires of the world, the ones who are sucking all the resources dry, the ones that are sucking all the money out of the economy and sticking it in banks. You know, those are the vampires we're dealing with. There's plenty for everyone, is what the Ten of Pentacles says, but the Judgment card says some people are just sucking it dry. Good spot, Tavia. Good spot. Damn. So Hierophant also, who said dogma? Who was talking about dogma earlier? Hold on. Dogmas abound. Yes, Samantha, that's certainly the Hierophant, is the dogmas that we're dealing with. Okay. I'm gonna let this one go. Any other thoughts, folks? Yikes. But the Chariot in the middle says things are moving. We might feel like things are at a standstill, but they are absolutely moving. Let's see who just flew out there. Four of Cups. King of Cups. There's King of Cups again. Three of Wands. Okay, taking responsibility. Ships coming in. Consequences. There's the Sun and death. Let's hope that sun isn't like a mushroom cloud. As bright as the sun. Wow. Okay. Done with those. Yeah, China is playing a long game, that's for sure. China is not about to get into this mess. They are not about to do knee-jerk. China has got it. They don't want to fuck things up for themselves. So, hold on, pouring some coffee. Come with me. Now, who's next? Who haven't we heard from? Two tarots and an oracle. That's four. We already did that one. That's four again. We already did that one. That's four again. We already did that one. Five. Okay, Cheeto Marchetti. Cheeto. No, I don't want to say that. Cheeto. Would not want to call you Cheeto Man, because we know who the Cheeto Man is. Okay. Ooh, this is a stiff deck. Usually I like a stiff deck. All right. Oh, yeah, these don't want to riffle. It's okay. It's okay. Let me light up my other little charcoal here. See what I do? I've split it in half, and then the other one starts going out. And this, I want to put some, ouch. Yes. A little bit of frankincense here. Okay. Dogma in relation to, oh, yeah. Yes, and they'll learn, you know, they'll learn. They'll figure it out. I was pretty dogmatic in the beginning too. You know, when you first come onto a path that you're conscious of, and you get so delighted with it, and it's working really well for you, and you want to convert the world, you know, oh, everybody should do this, it's great. No, this is the way to do it. And you know, when you're gelling your identity, when you're discovering your identity and who you are magically, of course, you know, this is why where we get witch wars, is witches being all dogmatic about how things are done. Okay, these came out and these came out. 4 and 2. Let's just do our 6-card bridging spread, shall we? And then we have, I'm going to do these two here. Okay, look at the cups. So we have the Queen of Cups. Here's Queens again. The Chariot again. Queen of Cups, Temperance, 3 of Wands, Chariot, Cups, look at 7, 7. And then we've got the 9 of Swords again, you guys, okay. See, this is wonderful. When they start giving us messages that repeat, then we know it really just gives gives a stabilizing feel to the readings that we're doing. All right, give me a second. Well, Temperance coming out right here. This is talking about why, you know, how do we maintain our balance? How do we not get lost? How do we remain functional? Because Temperance, you know, is about not losing your temper, not going overboard in any way. This deck, Jake, is Guido Marchetti's Tarot Grand Luxe. I'll show you the box too. It's a beautiful deck. His decks are gorgeous. His artwork is gorgeous. The rich color, you know, I really love his stuff. So Temperance coming up in the middle says we've got to really look at how do we maintain our balance? How do we maintain our cool? How do we keep our cool, you know? How do we maintain our vibe when we feel like we're going to lose our minds over these things? Well, the Queen of Cups talks about emotional stability. So one of the things that we need to do is stay in touch with that emotional state. You know, what kind of state are we in? What's 444? What's the 444? What are you talking about, Jake? What am I missing? I see 77. Okay, you let me know. I'll check in with you in a minute. So emotional stability, and I want to tell you, I just watched Encanto last night. I hadn't seen it yet, and I didn't know what it was about. I just knew I wanted to watch it. I heard the music was great, and Lin-Manuel Miranda and all that stuff. And let me tell you, it hit me in the tenderest of places. I was fucking sobbing at the end of this movie. And it really is about generational trauma. It's about dealing with generational trauma. And having been the invisible child, the child that was the scapegoat, you know. And anyway, it hit me very personally, and holy shit did I cry. A good thing. So emotional stability has to do with maintaining our emotions, with being in touch with our intuition, being in touch with the information that our emotions are giving us, and then just taking care of ourselves emotionally. You know, we have to, everybody's got to be emotionally responsible for themselves. I've got a big wad of grief. Okay, what are you going to do to get it out? What are you going to do to get that process going? You know, I'm feeling kind of down and dull and depressed. All right, what are you going to do about this? We have to be responsible for ourselves in order to gain some stability or maintain stability and balance. And then Three of Wands over here, of course, I mean, that came up just in that last group that flew out of the dark wood, talking about ships coming in. This is the result of actions. This is plans playing out. Okay. Then we've got the Chariot and the Seven of Cups. So we have a choice about which way things go. And we need to be very realistic about these choices. I'm seeing the rainbow here. But I'm also seeing with this Nine of Swords and with Temperance over here and the Queen of Cups that we cannot let ourselves get lost in utopian dreams. There's a fine line, that narrow path that came up with the Sacred Traveler. The fine line that we're walking is allowing ourselves to be in hope and optimism and generate ideas of the new world that we can have without going into fantasy land. And that we can dream big and let our dreams take wing of, you know, how beautiful this world could be, the resources, the intelligence that we have, what couldn't we have, and have those dreams without letting reality drag them down into the mud. So there's that narrow path. Maintaining hope. There's what Temperance is talking about. Assimilating the past into the present. looking and learning from the past, but not letting the past weigh us down and restrict us as far as what we can dream about the future. But the Nine of Swords at the bottom says the first thing we've got to deal with is just the grief. The first thing we have to deal with, and the Queen of Cups says, yeah, that's why I showed up here, is because part of the biggest part right now of us taking care of ourselves emotionally is dealing with the grief. The grief over what we're witnessing now, the grief over what we have witnessed in the past. We don't have the luxury of saying, you know, that doesn't concern me. And we also don't have the luxury of like pushing forward on this fantasy that I'm not carrying grief. I'm not feeling what the world's going through. I'm not feeling Mother Earth herself crying out for justice. Are we done with this message? Don't wallow. Absolutely, Tavia. Okay, so let me see here. 444. Oh, yeah, they kept getting 4 on the dice. I know. That little die just didn't want to, and I was like rolling it around too. And Samantha says 444 is an angel number that signifies the end of one phase and the beginning of another. And 4 numerologically is stability. You know, it's the foundation, the 4 corners, building something. It's material. It's the material realm. It's the earth realm is the number 4. So those 4s coming out say we need to get our feet on the ground. We need to be practical about things. Again, that balance between practicality and dreaming big. I just, here's a prayer. Multi-billionaires, please, in your delusions of grandeur, can you please put in there the dream of saving our planet? The dream of saving our planet, of equalizing, you know, making sure everyone has access to everything they need. Can you be the savior of the world with all the money you have? Please, can that be one of your dreams rather than shooting a penis rocket into the sky? Please, please, please. Okay. We don't have the luxury of saying, you know that in the cups. Okay, wait. We don't have the luxury of saying. The cups are. There's a gathering going on that will help us move out of this collective grief into getting some real work done. Yeah. I mean, the fact that the point down here is the 9 of Swords just says that's. It also says that there's a lot more grief to come, you guys. I hate to say that. 12, Hangman energy. Yep, letting go of control. 3 of Wands to have part of a stable foundation. Yes, the 3 of Wands comes from the 2 of Wands. 2 of Wands is I recognize that it's my responsibility. 3 of Wands is I've taken that responsibility and now the ships are coming in. So I'm seeing the consequences of my actions. We've done this before. We can do this again. Yeah, they'd prefer to go to Mars. And I saw something. I'm not a big fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson, but he said something that I heartily agree with, that if we can go to a barren planet and make it another Earth, why can't we do that with Earth? Yeah. So I do want to see on the sides of the, look at the Hierophant again and the 10 of Swords. Okay, 2 tarot decks in a row, 9 and 10 of Swords and the Hierophant and the Chariot in both of those readings. This is why I like using multiple decks. So this is saying it's going to be hard going, changing things. So where does change happen? How do we make big changes? We change this. We change our mind, and we change as many minds as we have access to changing, you know? But the Hierophant says, yeah, look at the 4, look at the pillars there. The Hierophant says that we are dealing with dogma, and we are dealing with the negative side of the law, which is that it's just the way things are and we can't do anything to change it. That idea that things cannot be changed. And I hate to say it, the 9 and 10 of Swords just says, it's interesting though, because we've got the Chariot in both of these readings, which is like on the move. You've got a choice ahead of you. You're in the driver's seat. Things are moving. But look at what we run into is the immovable, the unquestionable, the codified, the sacrosanct, the sacred cows. So until we're willing to slay these sacred cows, it's going to be rough going to change things. Holy shit. Can I have one more, please? 5 of Wands. Well, that just says that whatever activity is going to be happening is not quite a coordinated effort so far. A lot of fire, a lot of let's go, but not a lot of coordinated activity. Give me, okay. The King of Wands, he was in the last reading too. All right, you guys, here we go. Oh, definitely ups and downs in the economic flow. But the Hierophant there just says that we're not going to be able to go exactly where we want to go so fast. Okay. Whew. This is rough tonight, but see, this is why I chose the topic that I chose, because we do need to be in touch with what's going on. We can't tune out. All right, who haven't we heard from? Let's go with Light Seers. Well, I'm glad we've got these 2 decks at the end, the Light Seers and Through the Eyes of the Soul, because hopefully we can lift this up to something more spiritual. No, it ain't Bitcoin, that's for sure. But we're learning so much. You know, here's the thing. Putin is thinking war is still what it always was. You come in with a bunch of strength and you come out swinging, and then you take. You come in, you scare everybody, you do acts of violence, and you take. He is not fighting in this world. This world is about sanctions and communication and the flow of money and how instantly those things happen in our world, which means that's how instantly we can grind things to a halt. You know, this is a different world than the last World War. Okay, so this is the deck that said it wanted to talk about the Tower. Okay, here we go. Looky, Temperance. We have the Knight of Wands this time. But here we have Temperance again. Okay. 6 of Cups, talking about the past. The Knight of Wands, talking about that fire energy. Go, go, go. And Temperance, talking about let's keep it in balance. Okay, let's not get carried away. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jake. Yes, I did this last night. It was so much fun. So much fun. Well, I have infinite patience and a lot of energy that just gets scattered if I don't focus in on something. So, yeah, absolutely nothing. I hear you, Samantha. All right. So then we have the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Swords. And then at the bottom, we've got the 5 of Swords. All right. I want to look at the Knight of Wands here. In the pursuit of the imagined, I manifest this fire with the infectious feelings of inspiration. The light seer is charisma, passion, spontaneity, pursuing your dreams, fast energy, enthusiasm, courage, taking inspired action, the pursuit of adventure, based in memory. Okay, here's good memories. So here's something that we can do in order to keep ourselves balanced. When we need to step aside, so like you guys were saying, don't wallow, don't get lost in what you're looking at. Do things that take you back, that rekindle good feelings and good memories. Remember that your brain is storing all of those peak experiences that you've been through in your life. We tend to get drawn back to the big traumas because those, wire our brain in a certain way. But we also carry all of these wonderful feelings. So if you're finding yourself bereft in this moment and just overwhelmed with what's going on, sit and allow yourself to, meditate and take yourself back to times when things were wonderful and magical and feeling good. Draw on those memories, let them inspire you, and then Temperance says, bring that energy into the present. Temperance is about taking what was in the past and applying it to the present. It's about assimilation. It's about not going back into the past, but, all right, how do I want to say this? It's about mining, okay? Energy mining. I'm going back into my memories and I'm going to mine them for that peak feeling that I'm missing right now, that I'm looking for. And you can go into meditation and put yourself back in that state. You can recall these emotional peaks. And then that is no longer of the past. You bring it into the present and apply it to what's going on now. So one of the things that is on my mind is I love the definition of mystery. That mystery is things that can be learned but cannot be taught. Things that must be learned, one could say, that cannot be taught. So think about peak experiences you've had, particularly in ritual or meditation or dreams or something, and you're trying to explain to somebody what it was like and just utterly failing. This is why we have art, music, and poetry. Because there are experiences that change us, and there's no way to put them into words, to bring it into the realm of Mercury and Gemini and relate it to somebody else in a way that inspires them. 11th house. So another way to say this, these mysteries that happen are initiatory lessons. I hear that iTunes has decided to stop my playback. Okay, thank you. And those initiatory experiences, I love this phrase, can be described as lessons that you become. When we say I've learned a lesson, it's kind of up here. But sometimes when we have a psychological pattern and it presents itself again and again and again and again, and you keep thinking, why am I going through this? And then you go through one and it's like, okay, something shifts. And it is the lesson that you become. Now I am changed. Now I embody that lesson. I carry it with me. And that's what we're talking about here. Going and mining those emotional experiences for these positive, wonderful memories that can inspire you and let them and become them. Become that feeling. Okay? Then we have the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Ooh, okay. Let's see here. God, there was a whole lecture in those three cards there. All right, wait, catching up. Activation of visualization, absolutely, Sherry. Focus on what we want to carry moving forward. Acknowledge that it's an effective practice. Well, you leave the window dressing behind. The essence is what becomes you. You become the essence of these lessons. They change you from the inside, and then you can let the window dressing go. You can let the storyline go. This is Buddhism. Drop the storyline, taking life at face value. But knowing, you know, these cards, we're talking about going back to the past. And if you're going to do that, go back to the past in a positive way, in a way that inspires you and changes you and makes you more prepared for this present moment. Knight of Cups here, okay, between Six of Cups and the Knight of Wands. This is an opportunity. This is emotion moving. Look at him. This is moving emotions from the past into the present in a way that inspires you. And then Knight of Wands and Temperance here is discrimination. The Ace of Swords there is about deciding what to get, exactly what you were just saying, Samantha, what to keep and what to leave behind. It's that double-edged sword. So you don't just get carried away with all of it. You let it give you a rush of energy, and then you're like, okay, this is what I really need to carry. So you don't get carried away. Being discriminating, being clear-sighted about what, you know, what's going on in your brain and what the lessons mean to you. But then we've got Five of Swords here. Oof. That's talking about abuse of power. Victory or defeat. Are you the... Ooh, okay. There we go. So this is also about going back to things that maybe weren't so pleasant. Five of Swords and the Ace of Swords here talking about how you choose to see things in the past. If you've seen yourself as a victim in a situation, you have a choice to change that. You have a choice to make a division. You know, Ace of Swords is I'm going to be discriminating and I'm going to change the paradigm. Okay. Pure energy. Can I have the Cliff Notes? Good luck with that. Okay, I do want a couple more. We've got the Four of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups. So again, this is exactly about what we keep and what we walk away from. Four of Pentacles is here's what's precious to me. Here's what I choose to hold on to. Here are the practical things, the practical memories, you know, the material things that I choose to hold on to. And the Eight of Cups is here's what I will walk away from. Here's the emotional detritus. I have allowed, even, you know, the traumatic things change us too. I will allow this experience to change me in a positive way. I choose to do it, you know, to take this from it and be inspired to do this with it. And the rest is emotional detritus, and I will leave it be. Okay. And, you know, the Tower that came out there, it's like, what do we do when things are disruptive like this, when things are falling apart? That Tower card is really about the structures that we have built are starting to break apart, and they break apart because we have outgrown them. We have outgrown the dogmas that we're dealing with. And so it's time to grow some new things. Okay. Through the eyes of the soul. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to work very well. Ow. That was not comfortable. All right. Let's just shuffle this way now. All right. I feel the energy lightening up with this deck. Okay. So let's ask... let's put a little bit more Azrael on here. Give it a breath of fresh air. And what I am feeling is just all of our tender hearts right now. The tender hearts that we have as we're watching suffering and feeling incapable of doing anything about it. Our helplessness, our hopelessness, our shared emotion. Let me see if I can do it this way. I doubt it, but oh, yeah, somewhat. They're telling me to cut. Spirit, what do we need to know in order to take care of our tender hearts and the things that we are feeling right now? Okay. Ooh. All right, this is interesting. Climb the spiral ladder one step at a time. Embrace the three worlds. A deep secret will come to light. All right. So what is the spiral ladder? It is the patterns of our lives, the karmic patterns. The fact that, you know, things run in cycles. Of course, you know, all of nature is a circle. And it circles around and circles around and circles around, but not, you know, we don't keep meeting things on the same level. It goes up, it spirals up. And this is saying one step at a time. So that's saying to just be where we are now, to absolutely be where we are one step at a time. And also to let ourselves off the hook of our own expectations. If we're expecting too much of ourselves, if we're expecting, if we are expecting something from ourselves that we really are not capable of giving. And what I want to say here is, like, just an example. My son and I drove past a car accident a week or so ago. And they were already in the cleanup phase, so we didn't see if anybody was hurt. And of course, it starts my disaster head going and thinking about, you know, accidents and things. And if I came upon something like that, and it's like, well, if there are other people to help, I am out of there. Because if I am exposed to people injured and hurt and everything, you're going to have one more person to take care of, because I'm going down like a rock. Yeah, I don't have that capacity, especially now at this stage of my life with the panic attacks that I have and everything. I wouldn't be able to. So staying in our own wheelhouse, not expecting things of ourselves that we really is not part of our makeup, and just not expecting ourselves to be further than we are right now. You know, we all get there in our own time. So being more gentle with ourselves as far as our own evolution and where we see ourselves being right now. Okay, sorry, I'm catching up with notes. Ooh, St. Petersburg Tarot, yes. Yes, Marcy. Okay. Blue into rose. Oh, here to here. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, we climb the ladder one step at a time. We don't put pressure on ourselves to be farther than we are on the path, because we are where we are, and that's that. This is part of taking life at face value, right? Embrace the three worlds. So are we talking about past, present, future here? Body, mind, spirit? You know, the physical world, the mental world, you know, the layers, mental, emotional, which you're going to go past 3 if you do that. Let's see what they say. Let's take a look. Dawning of the Green Man is what this one is called. Incorporate balanced judgment. Look from the viewpoint of the 3 perspectives: underworld, middle world, upper world. Okay, so let me see if she gives any more descriptions here. Green Man, the Green Knight, and Cernunnos, yes, himself. The upper world are heavenly realms, the middle world are terrestrial, and the underworld are otherworldly realms. So I look at the underworld as kind of like the transformative space where things go in order to die and be reborn. Spirit, the upper realms, those are the realms of unity. The middle realm is right here where we're at, where we have access to both of the others. We have access to transformation. We have access to unity as well. So, embracing the three worlds, and a deep secret will come to light. Now let's keep going here. Follow your heart. Okay, so between climbing, being where we are, and climbing that spiral ladder, and opening our vision to the different levels that things are occurring on. So, you know, if we look at what's happening now from a spiritual level, this planet is coming to terms with what we have created. We are coming to terms with Oppenheimer's deadly toy. Have you listened to Sting's song called The Russians? I hope the Russians love their children too. Listen to it. Go onto YouTube. He just, like yesterday, put up an acoustic version of him with just him on acoustic guitar and a cellist, and it's gorgeous. But we are coming to terms with the Plutonian power that we unleashed, that has brought all the aliens to watch us because we got dangerous in the early part of the 20th century. So looking at it from a spiritual standpoint, we are coming to terms with what we have wrought. Looking at it from the middle world, you know, we're just in a right fucking mess. And, you know, all of the logistics and everything. If we look at it from the underworld, these are energies that are waiting to be transformed. This Plutonian power, this condensation of power, you know, intense, huge power in the hands of so very few. So we've got those, and then we have follow your heart here. So that really is saying that you let your own heart, your own sensibilities, your own love, not likes and dislikes, love, guide you to where you are supposed to be in the middle of all this. Let that guide you to where you are called to help. That is the call to follow, the call of your heart. And just find, you know, you can find one thing to do, and think about the billions of people on this planet. If each person did one little thing that they are able to do, things begin to change. And it really is about individuals this time around. Then we have, between embracing the three worlds and a secret coming to light, we have shifts happen, stabilize your energy fields. Well, I mean, that just kind of says, that's pretty self-explanatory there, that we are going through seismic shifts here. And I think here we have more to learn about ourselves in this. You know, I hate to bring it back. Well, this is one of the ills of our modern world, in my opinion, is everything is about how can I be a better person, you know, but I'm talking about being a better person in the community of this planet, being a better citizen of this planet, being a better person to my fellow human beings and all the creatures of the earth, not just being a better person so I can feel good about myself, not the egotistical version. We have big things that we can learn about ourselves and how powerful we are. Look at this angel here, you guys. Okay, the top one wants to come off. Guard and protect the sacred waters of life. All right. We are certainly going to do a blessing of the waters in May. I'm going to be working on this if I don't keep forgetting. This is the shifts happen, stabilize your energy fields, Samantha. Okay. So, yeah, guard and protect the sacred waters of life. Doing the work with the waters. Knowing that quantum theory says that, you know, quantum mechanics, quantum physics. So yes, absolutely, Tavia. That's like temperance again. Very much so. Says that any particle, tiniest particle of anything that has been in contact with another particle, no matter how far away they are separated by time or space, when something happens to one, it instantaneously happens to the other. So that's how connected all of this is. We know that water carries memory, and that we can program water. We can, God, did my Reiki just kick off? Whoo, baby! That we can send energy into water. So the blessing of the waters is going to be where we gather water from different sources close to us, all doing this individually. We will pray over it, and then we will return that water to its source, where every other particle of water that gets touched, whoosh, it can wash over the planet. It can wash over the planet. That's what this is saying, is that we're going to get surprised here. Secrets will come to light at just how powerful we are. But we have to do it, and we have to do it in all seriousness. And going back to the first deck, in all seriousness and in the wisdom of sacred play. The wisdom of sacred play. So the waters of life, it's not just about the physical waters on this planet. The waters of life is how we connect to each other emotionally. Water is the connecting factor. You know, when I call in my elements and I get to water, it's about healing, but it's about connection. It's about feeling with. It's about compassion and empathy. So that's what this is about, to guard and protect the sacred waters of life. So that little meditation that I put up on Saturday about sending the rainbow to Ukraine, you don't even have to spend 26 minutes doing it. You can just sit down and imagine this liquid rainbow pouring over Ukraine to be received by anyone there that needs it. You know, we can do what we do. So, and water, yes, water is a conduit, absolutely. Water is the dividing line between a living planet and a not living planet. So, keying into water again. And I will start working on the Blessing of the Waters ceremony. I don't have a lot of work to do because I have it all written, you know, from a mother drum. I would dearly love to do this as an actual physical ritual, because I think by May that will be doable. And it would be so great to be able to record it and put it up. I don't know if that I just got really ambitious there, but I don't know if that can happen. Dark matter is a fiction. Dark matter doesn't exist. They have looked and looked and looked for it, and they can't find it. Just forget about dark matter. Dark matter, so many scientific papers out looking for dark matter, and so much of the scientific community has turned away from that because it's like we just haven't found it, folks. There are many other things in the universe that are actually there. So, okay, communion. Absolutely. I mean, it's all about our connection to the universe itself, because guess where the universe is? It's right here. It's right here. So from that very beginning spread, from, talking about intimacy and connecting with our intuition, what are you connecting with? You're connecting with the voice of the universe. You're connecting with the music of the cosmos. It plays inside of you. That music is inside of you. So, to go from our first reading and to this one, yes, this is all about us remaining connected, remaining hopeful, bolstering each other's energy, reminding each other that we are gods, that we are God and Goddess. We are the gods, we are the universe manifesting with senses so it can enjoy its creation, I am the goddess in the flesh, so I can revel in this divine wonder that I've created, this incredible planet that I've created. So, yeah, a lot to think about, but more to feel about. This whole thing tonight, if I had to go back and look at it, it's that we can, we don't have to get bound up in all the details. This Mercury in Gemini, we don't need to feel ourselves being crushed under the weight of all the data. We can cut to the essence of the meaning through intimate connection with our own mind, with our own intuition, with each other, through maintaining our own emotional balance. Because things are going to get shittier, folks. They're going to get shittier. And we also need to be able to look that in the face and not shy away from it. And not go, oh no, but that's not what I want. Just look it in the face. How are things going? How are they bound to go? They're bound to get shittier. And we can keep putting out hope. We can keep that Seven of Cups. We can keep imagining the highest and best, even while we say, I bet you this is going to get shittier before it gets better. We can do both. We can hold the opposites within us, because that's the universe is full of paradox, right? We can hold that paradox and be in it without freaking out. We can. That is a high adept skill. To be able to be in all this shit without freaking out. I wish that for you. I really wish that for you. Wow. All right, you guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, all my decks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am going to try so damn hard to get a video up this Friday. I wanted to last Friday, and I had a couple nights of big pain. My joints just fucking exploded, and I didn't sleep and couldn't get a video together, but I really want to do one, and I think we might do the deck of character. But I also have this one that I just got, the Earthbound Oracle, that I'm very excited about. So I'm planning on it. So thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out with me. And if you guys got anything from this, there are a couple links down below that you can send me a donation, buy me a cup of coffee. Thank you for anything that you send my way. Nothing is too small. I send you all blessings, and I hope that you found something comforting. I hope you found some insight and some enlightenment here. We're all in this together. It's for sure. We're all in this together. And, you know, when I'm not here on YouTube, I do have a Facebook page, the Zen Witch Tarot and Astrology. Please go over there. You can DM me there. You can send me a message. We can have a conversation. You know, reach out. I am available for you here. And let's see here. Yes, thank everyone that's been here tonight. Yes, hit the like button. I would appreciate that. Hit the like button, and you know, if you come back to look at this in a different time, drop a comment below. That helps the algorithm show me to other people. Don't war with ourselves. Absolutely. Tavia, you are so welcome. Thank you so much, everybody. You missed the carrot cards, Sherry. Okay, well, carrot cards will be coming back. It's almost Easter. Carrot cards are perfect for Easter. Yep, there's a lot. You know, that's the downside of having so damn many decks, having more than 300 now. That's the downside. But the upsides are just so many more. So many more upsides. All right, you guys. Blessings to you all. Thank you again. I will see you next time. And until then, this is the Zen Witch. Blessed be.